Friday. It is Friday the 13th. Oh my goodness. Not that we need to talk about anything horrific because we already know that those types of things are going on. But this is Saniqua J. White just popping in for a few quick minutes just to bless your weekend and maybe even next week. Also, to put something on your heart over this weekend and over the next week. Something I am seeing an emergence of in my counseling practice are young adults who were teens during the pandemic. So I am talking about children, teens who were maybe in the ranges of 12, maybe 11, 12 to 18 during the pandemic. Now, those same kiddos are anywhere between 18 and 25, maybe 26, depending on where things fall. What I'm seeing, because I see adults only, is my 18 to 25-year-old clients coming in for counseling. They might be coming in for anxiety, depression, grief, trauma, any of those things. But what I'm also seeing with them is a developmental delay in their social and emotional learning skills. So this is SEL. Normally we talk about SEL when it pertains to school kids. Well, they were in grade school when the pandemic hit, and we all know the chaos that happened with that. But our kids that were in school were greatly affected. And because I don't see kids, I didn't really realize it. But now I am seeing young adults who were kids during that time. What I'm seeing is severe anxiety for some of them, confusion about life in general, lack of motivation, lack of drive, and all around for some of them. Now, this is not all of them, but a lack of understanding. They aren't able to deduce, they don't do deductive reasoning well. They don't understand what if you do this or if you don't do this, these things will happen or won't happen. These are young adults who can't or won't drive because they're afraid or they just don't think they need to. These are young adults who can't or won't make effective, healthy decisions because they really can't or just don't feel the need to. These are young adults who just can't or won't think clearly about their next steps in life. For them, there almost is no future. Yeah, they know that tomorrow will happen in the next day, but they don't really have any idea of how to plan, how to set goals, how to strategize. And for the most part, I can tell, and I don't want to offend anybody, but this is probably going to offend some people. I can tell which young adults I have who have parents or had parents who are very involved in their lives at that time, and I can tell the difference between those who did not have their parents super involved in their lives at that time. There's a clear difference. Now, I know this from taking their history, psychosocial history, and those types of things when they come into treatment. So I'm not just making this up. I actually know this information. And so the ones that did not have a lot of activity, a lot of parental involvement, these are the ones that I'm typically seeing that are delayed. Now, some of you as parents were actually present, you were actually involved, but because of all of us just trying to survive during that time, some of us just missed some of the things. We thought, oh, they'll catch up. Oh, this is a personality thing. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're soft. We thought all sorts of things. And not that some of those things could or could not be true, but what I'm actually seeing is a developmental delay. You remember when your kids were younger, probably before the age of 6, every time you took them to the pediatrician, they would talk about milestones. Is your child meeting the milestones? They should be rolling over, they should be walking, they should be so on and so on. But eventually your pediatrician stops talking about milestones. Well, just because your child hits adolescence does not mean there aren't milestones that they should continue to be hitting into adulthood. So, what I am seeing is young adults now, they're between the ages of 18 and 25, maybe 26, where when they were teens during the pandemic, they were not hitting these milestones. But because they weren't in school or because of everything that was going on in the world socially, again, we were just trying to survive and figure out if we were going to live from day to day. Some of these things got missed. And some of your young adults, they're young adults now, missed some developmental milestones when they were teens. And what I'm seeing on average right now is my young adult clients are on average about 3 years behind in development. So think about it this way. If you have an 18-year-old now, they're about 15 in many parts of their development, especially socially and emotionally. If you have them on the upper end of the scale, if they are around 25, 26 right now, most of them are operating at maybe a 21, 22-year old level. And that is not a college graduate level. So 21, 22 might be a college graduate level. So you think, oh, okay, they should be doing pretty well. This is a 21, 22-year-old level developmentally that did not attend college. Whether your child did or didn't, they're developmentally, they're behind. That's what I'm saying. So some of you are thinking, what is wrong with my kid? Why can't they do this? I could do this at their age. What is going on with them? Why are they so lazy? Why do they think like that? Well, not to blame everything that your child might be going through on that time, but I am saying that many of your children who are now young adults, they're not children anymore, are developmentally delayed socially and emotionally at best. So some of them are more delayed than the 3 years. The average is about 3 years delayed. Okay. So now that I've given you this information, so it can maybe offer you some suggestions about what might be going on with your kiddo or your young adult now, let me give you some things that you might want to do. On my YouTube channel, I have a series of videos. It's labeled SEL and it's in the playlist SEL, just those three letters. It's in a playlist for you and your young adults to watch. That is just the tip of the iceberg, just to talk about what we're talking about right here, the social and emotional learning and strategies. So you can click on my YouTube channel, find the playlist there that I've created for you. Watch those first. Of course, that's free. And then I'm going to drop a link for a checklist. What I have created is an SEL checklist, social and emotional learning checklist. And what it gives you is all the milestones that your young adult should have been able to master before they graduated. Typically, when I work with SEL, I am only working with ages 14 to 18 in high school, and then 18 to 22 if they're in college and missed some of those. Some of your kids are past the 22, but they did not get the milestones that they needed. So I am extending the age in which I work with SEL clients on to 25, 26, maybe past that if necessary. Again, average 3 years delayed. So there is a checklist, free checklist that I'm going to drop for you. All I ask is that you join my email list when you get the checklist so that you can understand what are the milestones that your kiddos, your young adults now should have met, should have been able to master before they graduated high school that they now don't have. There's more. I also have a Patreon. I will drop the link to the Patreon. The Patreon has classes, developmental classes. It's online courses that they can take at their leisure so you can start to understand, so that you can start to see what's going on with your kids. They can do this on their own because I know most of them are adults and don't want you sitting there with them, but you want to know maybe that this is available for them. I also have an ebook that I'm going to drop as well. The ebook is designed to be printed and written on. So it is not going to be a fillable form. I do not want them filling in the information on the computer. It needs to be printed. Now it's pretty long, so you don't need to print it all at the same time, but it is something for your young adults to work on, and they need to write. Hand brain coordination is very important for someone who is developmentally delayed. It brings home the information a little bit better. It helps it click a little bit better for the students. So this PDF is going to be in PDF format, but you can print off page by page if you want to when they're ready for them to go through the workbook. I'm calling it an ebook, but it's actually a workbook to ask them questions, have them do activities, handwritten activities. Okay. So I wanted you guys to understand, for some of you who have been wondering what might be going on with my young adult. Why are they not launching? Why are they not able to catch on? Why won't they drive? Why aren't they able to hold down a job? Some of these things that I'm talking about may be contributors to the reasons why your young adults are delayed, why they don't seem to be age appropriate in their behavior right now. So check the description, click those links, get all the content, get all the information that you can. Of course, I will be back with more on that topic. And also, you can follow me on my other social media platforms where I will give information on those topics as well, on my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok. Everything is under my name, Saniqua J. White. Okay, so I hope this information is helpful for you. I will be back next week if God says the same. I pray that you have an excellent weekend, an excellent week. Be proactive about your mental health. Until then, God bless.